Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel. I am Chase, and we got a special video today because we are joined with a very special man, number 27 from the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna racing team, Mr. Malcolm Stewart. Malcolm, how are you doing?
What's good? What's good? I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Oh, dude, this is a dream come true for me. But I want to get more riders on the show and be able to talk more than just like fantasy. I want to talk more about you and your career. And sound like a plan?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. Well, look, man, you're 31 years old. I was looking up October 27th, 1992.
Easy,
coming up on the old 32. Hey, is that where 27 comes from? Your birthday?
No, actually, 27 came from my dad was 171 growing up. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just be 271. So I just dropped the one. And of course, they made a rule whenever you went pro and blah, 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 you couldn't have a 3-digit number after unless he got his deal. And they said, yeah, you just got to have a 2-digit number only. So I was like, all right, well, 27 it is.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hey, man, to give people a little history about you, you turned pro in 2011. And I was looking, I was like, man, I forgot Mookie raced on a Suzuki. You were even on KTM for a year. You've bounced around quite a bit. But you won your first East Lights title in 2016. And then that was for the Geico Honda. And then after that, until about 2021, I was watching some interviews, some dark times in the Malcolm Stewart world for a little bit there. But here you are, crushing it, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. So it's been quite the journey for you.
Yeah, no, it's of course for me, it's definitely been a roller coaster since 2016, and that's I feel like that's not only myself. I think a lot of racers go through some times, but the whole good thing about the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna group is they saw some value in me, and that I felt like that me getting that ride really turned my career around, and it's definitely been a fun time for the last, I would say, 3-4 years with these 3 years now with these guys, and of course we got a whole another year with these guys again for going on to the 2025. But yeah, I mean, going back from 2023, which would be last year, getting hurt, that unfortunately everybody knows when you get an injury like that, it sucks. It's having a knee injury take you out the entire year. It's just miserable, but you don't realize, and I try to explain this to any guys that are listening, fans and stuff. It's like, you just don't bounce back like you want to when you go back to racing, because so much change in the development of the bike, riders and things like that. Of course, not only that, I didn't really get to study too much of the new rookie riders that came in, for this from this year, like the Justin Cooper, of course, the both Lawrence brothers and things like that. So we got some added players that, they got some fire in there, and obviously they're doing a job. So it's kind of like, your group that I call my classmates that I was dealing with, then you throw some new faces in there and you're like, okay, all right, this guy's not getting tired, or he's doing this better. So the bar always stays rising. So I was always, what I would always say, like with our group, we thought triples and stuff with it were big, and then, they'll do quad. Now it's like, if you don't quad and try to do 5, like what Jet Lawrence was doing a 5 at Anaheim 1 and Preston, I'm like, come on, man. This is how we want to kick the season off, like doing this. So, but it was just cool, actually, being part of that, just cool to see, riders like that and just have that grit. And I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah. It's interesting. So like Eli Tomac, right? He's obviously one of the biggest names in the sport. So there's a lot of attention on him. So he gets hurt last year at the end of Supercross. And there's just all this focus like, oh, is he going to come back? And obviously he did. And then for the 24th season in Supercross, I think a lot of people were expecting him to bounce back faster. And I think that was kind of an awakening for a lot of fans to realize, like, hey, when you're at this elite level, even just 4 months off or whatever Tomac had to take, that's all it takes for you to have to kind of hit the reset button, and it takes that next year to try and kind of rebound. And I think a lot of people forgot that you missed 10, 11 months on your motorcycle in 2023. So you were off way more than Tomac was. And so when you came into Anaheim 1, when they talk about flying at the test track, you're always at the top of everybody's list. But I think people also forgot that, hey, Malcolm didn't race last year. So I think it was kind of unfair for you in that sense, where I don't think maybe you got the same break that Tomac was getting because people weren't thinking about that.
No, I mean, you know how it goes. And not only that, it's just like if you're watching, not only just in our sport, but any sport, and an athlete gets hurt, you're just expecting them to bounce back. And it's like, hey, what's taking him so long? Like, what's he doing? It's like, buddy, we're trying. Trust me, we're trying out there. We're giving it everything we got. It just doesn't always happen the way it was. But, one thing you can always say is you can do all the hot laps you want in practice and all that. But, man, when it comes down to the race, things happen. And you're understanding your motorcycle, what I missed, what for me, I had my development basically set up for 2022 going into 2023, and then I got hurt. So then I'm like, okay, well, we're trying to still go back to 2022 setup, but it really isn't working for the tracks that are set up for 2024. So It's just, that's part of the process and things like that, and you're understanding. But again, as the best thing for you is you have to just race through all those things and get to understand how your motorcycle works again, racing, different people and all that. And it sucks to say it is taking a lot longer than I would expect. I wanted to, but we're starting to get the ball rolling and we're getting better.
Yeah. Speaking of, man, I got to give you props. You just got 4th overall, which I believe you do have a podium overall back in your early, in the teen days. You stepped up to 450 for Outdoor Nationals, but I hear people say like, oh, this rider is just a Supercross specialist. He's not an outdoor guy. My ass. Dude, when you're 4th overall at a pro national and outdoors, you are ripping. Like, I have local pros here in Utah, right, that I go watch them race, and I watch them and think, I don't know how you go faster than that guy. And these are guys that go to a pro national and can barely make the top 40. And they've made plenty of them, but they don't score points, right? And then, so I'm just saying, for you to be good enough to get 4th overall, you're an outdoor guy. Like, you are ripping on a dirt bike. I just want to get that out there. Malcolm Stewart is not just a Supercross specialist. You rip on a dirt bike, period. Just got to do it.
Dude, like I said, I've been having a great time this summer. A lot better than I expected I was gonna have, but so far it's been good. So I think maybe just because Supercross was such a snowball effect and all that, I'm like, okay, I need to just twist the throttle, have some fun, big jumps, and we're gonna go from there. But yeah, I've been having a great time this entire summer. It was kind of almost like, dang, like, we in a certain circumstances I was put in some of my contract situations I didn't get to race, but I'm able to do it now.
Yeah. Is it different when you're actually racing, when you have fans that are 20 feet away, lining the fence line, they got their chainsaws out or the air horns, whatever? Is it just a completely different feel and vibe when you're racing on an outdoor national versus a Supercross track, where Supercross, yeah, you can hear the stadium, but you're not seeing the fans out of your peripheral 20 feet away as you're coming around a corner? Is it a completely different feel?
Well, I think the cool thing about like the outdoors is like, you be in like a back section where like, most of the industry and stuff where they can't really watch, but the fans are back there. And it kind of like, you'll be coming around a corner where you're like off the throttle, so it's pretty quiet, and you just hear like the fans just screaming around there, the air horns. I just think it's different, right? It is cool and stuff like that, but man, it does suck in a situation where like you fall in the back and the fans, they can hear you, they're just screaming at you, and you're just like, oh man, like, dude, so I think it's like, it's a catch-22, but man, I tell you what, I think the most embarrassing moment for me was this year when I cased the Rocco's Leap, right, in press day, and it was so bad that like I remember casing it, and I heard the fans like, oh, like make that like,
yeah, like they thought you were gonna crash.
Oh, like, and I was just like, I didn't jump it no more in press day. Hey, and then like the fans come over after press, and they're like, dude, I saw you casing Rocco's Leap, like I thought your front wheel was gonna blow, and I'm like, oh man, like, you know what I mean? It's just like. And then it was just, I think the cool part is when I did come back around and I didn't jump anymore, I got like some cheers. Like they were proud of me that I didn't do it anymore. So they thought I was blowing front wheels.
I thought you were going to say you got booed.
Yeah, no, they were good, but I get it. It's just, I think the cool moment for me on the outdoor side of things is like going to the races that I haven't been in 10 years, right? And people that are fans and stuff are coming up and they're like, hey, it's good to see you back. Not only just in the Supercross side of things, we still love you in the outdoors, and just showing that love. I just think that was definitely a lot of motivation and appreciating the love. And, you know, again, I go out there and try to give it everything I got out there, but it just makes you feel appreciated.
For me, the greatest feeling on a dirt bike is when you hit a rut perfectly, or you just do something you're just like, I hope somebody saw that. Do you have those moments when you're riding, like in the middle of a 450 Moto 1, Moto 2, or main event? Do you ever do something where you're like, that was pretty sick? Like,
it's more of like, I hope nobody saw that.
Like when you cancel Rocco's leap.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like me coming in the corner doing a knack or something like that. It's like, it's more like, I hope nobody saw that, you know?
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, it's so, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's nothing cooler than when you do rip a corner and stuff like that, but most of mine are more bloopers than anything.
I'm trying to remember the race off the top of my head. It was this outdoor season. I think it was like late in the race. Like, I think the leaders had come over, but you were still just hammering down. And I'm trying to remember. I hope we can find the clip, but you came off like
Red Bud.
All I know is you came off this
like a three-way battle or something towards the end. Or
it could have been, but I just remember you like came off this little single and you like landed on the rear wheel and just held it wide open, and you just hovered the front wheel off the ground for a good 100 feet until you were like up to the next jump face. And I was like, whew, that's got to be one of those I'm feeling myself moments because it just looks so sick.
Yeah, or more like I only got to hit the section one more time, you know. I just like, you know, how you get that last lap, you're like, all I gotta do is hit this corner, you know. I'm done with this corner. I'm done with that corner. You know, you gotta psych yourself out when you're right. +2, right? So, but no, man, you is again. I've had some really like fun races, especially this year, and a lot of like hard charging races at the end and things like that. Like, it's been fun. It's definitely a grind, but it is fun, and you do enjoy it as much as I hate to, you know, it seems like, oh, well, you know, it's not like I've been to outdoors that many times in my career, but for me, missing this many years of racing outdoors, a full season, and then coming back, like, I'm actually surprised myself how cool this has been.
All right, Matt, last question. What's the best life advice you've ever been given? Could be from anybody.
Best life advice somebody's ever given me was just be blessed with what you have and give it everything you got.
I love it, man. Malcolm Stewart, number 27, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Racing Team. You're the man, people's champ. Again, congratulations on a great season so far. So let's get that win.
Dude, it's coming, man. It's gonna come.
Okay.
It's gonna come. So,
and you've led laps to Anaheim 1, so 2025. Let's lead laps and let's seal the deal this time.
And we're gonna have enough gas money for the boat.
There we go. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time, Malcolm.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see ya.